Again, Kriya Siddhi techniques surprised us. Within a month, we had his wedding card on our table. That's a miracle. Namaste everyone.
Namaste everyone.
So what are we discussing today?
We are going to do Kriya Siddhi workshop. Let us talk about some of the miracles of Kriya Siddhi that we have experienced in our life.
Yeah, do you remember it was 2005 when we actually experienced the miracle of the Kriya Siddhi techniques? And since then, we have been practicing in every walk of our life, enriching it with so many miraculous experiences.
When I go back, I recollect in 1998 we came to Hyderabad after getting job together in a leading IT company from IIT campus. And then here we were new, so we were looking for rented apartments, and after every 1 or 2 years we were forced to change our house for whatever reason. And we used to dream that we should have our own house. In 2001 we entered to the system of healing and spirituality, and few months later we got an opportunity to buy a land in a outskirts of Hyderabad at that point of time at Gachibowli. And we wanted to build our own independent house with lot of greeneries, with our meditation room and what all we wanted. So guess what we did?
Well, we used Kriya Siddhi techniques, and to our surprise, within 2 weeks of applying the technique, we met with an architect through our office colleagues, and this young architect was a perfect match for our requirement. So the work of construction started immediately, and in November 2005, we had our dream house ready. A house with a meditation room with a cone roof on top of it, and built to the perfect measurement with lots of greenery around. So it's like living in this designer house with lot of greenery around is just as we envisioned.
Since childhood, I was a passionate lover of trees, and I wanted to have a lot of land in our house where we can have a mango tree, banana tree and whatnot. And this house with lot of land in the surrounding was just like my dream fulfilled. Another miracle of Kriya Siddhi which we experienced in our life was related to our office scenario. So we both were working in the different project. I was placed with the US client and Ruchi was placed with the European client, and that changed our time zone of working. So I was going late to the office, and when I used to come back at 11:30, 12 in the night, she was sleeping.
Yeah. And when I woke up, he was sleeping. I'll go to the office. So we were not seeing each other on the weekdays practically, only on the weekends.
So this was not acceptable to us. So we tried to find a solution for this. We discussed with our director, we discussed with our client. When I was discussing this with our client side director, he jokingly said that this is very good. You both will meet very less and you both will not fight. So this will save your marriage. So that really annoyed me. So that's when we thought, okay, nothing is working. So why don't we just try Kriya Siddhi? So at that point of time, we did the Kriya Siddhi. We had our doubts as to know, we tried everything, nothing worked. How would Kriya Siddhi work? But we put our doubt aside and we applied the technique. And just after 4 weeks of applying the technique, our director calls both of us in his cabin, and with a very grim face, he says that, the company is planning to sell off this entire vertical.
And I think what he was expecting is that we will be very disheartened to hear this news, because an established good project is just closing down and we'll have to relocate to a new project.
And on the other hand, it was very hard to hide our smile. So we understood, oh, this is how God works, this is how nature works. You need to know the technique, you need to apply the technique, and the results come. After that, We both were relocated to a different project. I was relocated to one of the greatest project of my life. So this project started with a team of 12, and within 2 years we had a team of 50 plus. In first year we got the runners up award in the best project award. The next year we got the best project award in the entire company of 2000 plus people. So when I was at my high, that was the time I quit in December 2010 to join the mission of IWC full time.
Not just these wishes, when we were ready to invite a loving soul in our lives, we decided to turn to Kriya Siddhi. So we applied Kriya Siddhi techniques. We did a Kriya Siddhi wish in a meditation retreat. And November 25th, 2006, our lovely son Soham was born. So as he grew up, naturally, like every other parent, we also started thinking about his education and a good school. Now we were deep into spirituality by then, and we had a different idea of the education. We wanted our son to not be burdened by the piles of the books, and we wanted him to learn the human values, not just the regular education. So we again did the Kriya Siddhi for this, and we were just hoping that, not hoping, we knew kind of that some miracle will happen, so we don't have to worry too much. And it actually happened. And one of our neighbors, they told suddenly, "Hey, you know, there is a new school across the road. Would you like to check it out?" I thought, okay, let's go. What's there? So we went there, and we saw the school was Prerna Waldorf School. They started explaining about what is Waldorf education, how it works. It resonated with us so much. At that time, we were not very familiar with Waldorf education system. So we came back, did our own research, and we figured out that this was started by a very evolved soul, Rudolf Steiner, who was part of Theosophical Society. And being on the spiritual path, we were an avid reader of Theosophical books. So it was like, wow, this is exactly what we wanted. So without wasting any time, we enrolled Soham immediately in that school. And Soham loved his school from day one. We never had a trouble in terms of leaving him or he crying there.
In fact, when he used to come back from his school, he used to be so charged up, so much energy, and he never wanted to miss his school. So when we compare to ourselves, we used to be very happy when there is a holiday, when there is no school. But in his case, when there is a holiday, when there is no school, he used to get extremely disappointed.
Yeah, and we had trouble taking holidays because we couldn't afford to miss his school. He never wanted to. So this is the ideal scenario which we had always thought in our mind, that the child should not be forced. They should love going to school. They should love to be educated. And that's exactly how it has manifested.
So this is about the Kriya Siddhis that we did for ourselves.
Yeah, there are many more, but this is just some of them.
Do you recollect any example where we did it for somebody else?
Yeah, I remember one. Yeah, very interesting one actually. I won't take the name of the person, but there was one colleague of mine who was not getting married, who were having trouble finding a partner.
And many times he would come to us with his frustration and will discuss and make us also low with his problems.
So when it became too much, we decided we have to do something for him. We cannot find a match for him, but let's experiment with this Kriya Siddhi. Without telling him, we did Kriya Siddhi for him. Honestly, this was our first experiment for the other, somebody else. So we were not very sure. But again, Kriya Siddhi techniques surprised us. Within a month, we had his wedding card on our table. That's a miracle.
And he still doesn't know about it. So I think we can keep going on and on if we start discussing.
Yeah.
We would invite you all also to be part of this. Let these miracles become part of your life also, as it happened to us. Now we are ready with the workshop and with the technique to be imparted to you. So we welcome all of you with open heart to come join in this workshop and make your life also as blissful as we have been able to make ours.
Thank you very much for listening to our experiences.
Namaste.
Namaste. See you in the workshop.